Hello all. Over here at the job site, digging a duck pond. Taking a little lunch break. Wanted to talk about high liver, fermented liver, whatever you want to call it. Gonna eat a little piece. Tell you what I think. I've been eating it. I ate about a couple 100 grams probably. Half of a goat's liver. And then I'll tell you how I make it. It's kind of brownish looking. I don't know how well you can see. Very slimy. Smells amazing. Parts of it are kind of bluish green. It doesn't faze me anymore, but looking at it for the first time ever, I could see why people might think it's gross. It's really good. Man, it tastes like nothing I've ever tasted before, but there are hints of... You could taste the minerals a little bit. Not really like when you drink, when you taste your own blood, but kind of similar. There is a slight mineral taste flavor. I would say pickled herring is most what it reminds me of, even though it's still different, but it's similar in some ways. And then it's sweet, surprisingly. I don't eat much sugar or carbs. No refined sugar whatsoever. So things that are a little bit sweet are really sweet to me. And then there's also that kind of fermented yogurt, maybe more like kefir. Looks like there's a little bit of yeast going on here, I'm not sure. A little bit of a kefir flavor, and the aftertaste is slightly spicy. It's really good to me. How did I make it? Well, I put it in this jar. I cut it into little bite-sized pieces, maybe a little bit bigger. Once again, it's goat's liver. July 20th is, so you do the math. What's it been? 4 months or something? Not even. I don't know what the date is. No, November. August, September, October. Not quite 4 months. Half the time I don't even know what day of the week it is because that's how little it matters to me. Yeah, it's nice. So I put it in the jar, fresh, and I was airing it out. I only filled it about halfway in here. And I was airing it out every 3 or 4 days. Sometimes I forgot. When I got sick, I had food poisoning. I didn't touch it for like a month probably. Completely forgot about it. Didn't give a shit. But I did air it out. It was only about half full, so there was some air in there. I guess what you want is aerobic fermentation so that you don't breed any lethal bacteria. And it got really gnarly at first, and it kind of smelled bad. And then every time I would open it, I would smell it and do my best not to think that it's nasty, right? Just kind of convincing myself that this is normal, this is whatever. And little by little, it started to smell better to me. Now, I think the reason here is twofold. I think it's because I was acquiring a taste for it by smelling it, because our sense of smell is connected, intricately connected to our taste buds somehow. You know how sometimes you could smell the food and where you could almost taste it? Right. Kind of like that. So I was acquiring a taste for it by smelling it all the time and not making sure not to like recoil or think that it's gross. Just kind of accepting it. And I think it was also as it was fermenting, it just got better, I think. And the reason I think that is because when I was listening to Frank Tufano make his high liver on the counter, I don't know if I mentioned, but I kept it in the fridge. And it only took Frank like 3 days or so to make it. I think maybe because he fermented it so quickly, maybe that's why it was so funky to him. He's also a city boy. I'm a country boy, so, you know, shit doesn't faze me, if you know what I'm saying. I've seen and smelled rotten cattle, dead donkeys. I mean, you name it. It just. I saw a possum run over by a car with the little babies crawling out of it. There's just, I don't know, living out in the country and seeing these things and smelling all kinds of natural smells. Stuff just doesn't faze me. So maybe that's part of it. Don't get me wrong. If something reeks, it still reeks. I haven't completely lost my sense of smell. But so that might be part of it, just because we have different sensibilities, right? Like he probably puts on cologne and I don't even wear deodorant and I smell good. Anyway, if I go out in public, I do. Anyway, so I think aging it, I guess effectively, which is what I did, and fermenting it slowly in the fridge instead of in a warm environment, I think that contributed to the flavor maybe even being more complex, but sounds like a lot more mellow and quite tasty. Now, don't get me wrong, the first time I tasted it, it took me, it took me aback a little bit. It was just so strange. It wasn't gross, but it was just so foreign and strange, and I didn't know what to think of it. But I got it down, no problem. And then the second time I tried it, it was better. The third time, it was tasting good. And now I just crave it. I really, really enjoy it. I have to say, it's got to be one of my favorite foods as things stand right now. If not the favorite one. So just too bad it takes so long to make it, but I think it's worth taking your time. I'm gonna try it at different stages, but I think taking your time and fermenting it slowly has its benefits. Oh, also when I would air it out, I don't know if this matters or not, I would shake it up and stir it up a little bit, make sure all the pieces got some air, so on and so forth. And it gives me good energy. It tastes good, it goes down easy. Like I crave it. I want to eat more of it. I'm making some more right now. I just started. I'm going to try donkey liver also because that didn't taste good to me raw. I mean, it was okay, but it was just so strong. So I'm going to see if I could mellow out the flavor by fermenting the donkey liver and see what that's like. But if you're Oh, and I was also wondering because mine started growing like this little white stuff on it, some kind of yeast or I don't know what. It was a little worrisome, especially coming off food poisoning. But no issues, none whatsoever. I started out by eating just a little bit and then a little bit more. I never had more than 15 grams, I would say, in one sitting or daily. So I've been taking it easy, but I think I could handle more, and I really want to make more. I'm kind of bummed I don't have any more, but not sure if this long process is really necessary, but it seems like at the very least it helped me acquire a taste for this stuff and get used to it. And maybe it's just placebo, maybe it's all in my head, and if that's the case, hey, that's fine, I'll take it. It really doesn't matter, does it? It's no less real, right? The effect that I feel eating this stuff. Whether it's all in my head or it's just from, the nutritional content that's in there that's giving me this energy, a high feeling, if you will. But it's definitely there. It's not very strong, but then again, I haven't eaten much of it. So maybe in a few months or however long it takes, I don't know, I guess I'm going to experiment a little bit. When we got some fermented donkey liver or maybe some more goat liver, I'll make another video. But for the time being, if you're curious, I highly recommend it. But, if you're curious and you're not a pussy, obviously, if you're one of them metrosexuals, stay away from this shit. You know what I mean? If you get pedicures, manicures, this shit's probably not for you. Just a guess. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And, yeah. Shout out to Sveria. I had no idea these kinds of foods existed before I saw him eating this stuff. And, yeah, he deserves some props for this one because high liver, it's a winner. Take it easy.